We're in the November window, and there are a couple of interesting games I am looking forward to see, which will impact who we get to see at this year's edition of the AFCON, African Cup of Nations Championship happening in Morocco in January of 2025. Guys, we're the Africans. We talk a little primarily African and Canadian content. So if you like that sort of stuff, hit that like and subscribe button and let us know which games or teams you're looking forward to get it done. We have the list in front of us. Let's get going on the games that I am very much curious to watch. In Group A, it's Gambia versus Comoros. That game is taking place, believe it or not, on the 15th. That's this Friday. And that game will pretty much give us a chance. Anyone who wins that game between both sides will have the chance to solidify their chances to reach the next year's editions of the African Cup of Nations. Comoros have been playing well, but Madagascar did squander a few opportunities in the October window. I felt they could have gotten 6 points. We're only able to leave with 4. That would have been an ideal window for them. Looking for Musa Burrow to play well for Gambia and get it done. I'm rooting for the Scorpions. I'm hoping they can get it done, but we'll have to wait and see. But that game is very intriguing in groups that realistically, all spots are still open, but the Gambia could solidify their spot, or the Comoros could effectively stamp their sticker in and get their passports ready to travel. That is in Group A. When it comes to Group C, still not done. However, interesting with 2 teams with 3 points. I think the game that I'm curious to watch, interestingly enough, is going to be Botswana versus Mauritania. That game is taking place on the 15th. And the reason why I'm looking at that game specifically is because Mauritania has an opportunity to maybe get back into the game, get back into the group with 6 points, leave them tied with Botswana, and then that would give them the opportunity on the 18th where they would face Cape Verde, and that would be an interesting one. So that game in Group C, looking at Mauritania versus Botswana. Botswana have been performing well, getting 2 victories, still a -3 goal differential. That's what happens when you play Egypt. But I'm very much excited to see what they're able to do. Group D, Rwanda versus Benin. That is a game where marbles will be found. And I'm very much curious to see what happens in that game. Curious just because Rwanda has been a team that I've been excited to see. I'm wondering if they can finally put it together and reach AFCON again. But in order for them to do so, they would need that one victory over Libya, which I assume they would get. But then Rwanda would come in and have to play Nigeria on the 18th. I said that wrong, guys. So it is Benin versus Nigeria. That's the matchup. That's the most interesting. Because if Benin is able to get a victory there, they can maybe give themselves a little bit more space and make sure that game is still worth playing. But if Nigeria are able to get that win, then that game that they play against Libya, Benin will be playing for all the marbles. So we'll be watching that curiously. We'll see what can happen. I'm very much curious to see what goes through. Group F, I mean, my Black Stars are a struggle right now. They need to win all their games and win them big. It's not inconceivable. I think they might have a good window here, but they won't be able to get it done. And I think ultimately that leaves them on the outside looking in. But hey, in terms of Group F, the game to me to watch is honestly Sudan versus Niger. 1 point there, all but assures them a spot over. A win, which I expect, all but guarantees their movement over. So if you're a Ghanaian, you're praying Ghana beats Angola on the road, and then you're also praying Niger does you a favor and beats Sudan. I don't see that happening, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened in that whole competition. When it comes to Group G, Ivory Coast have been playing well, Zambia as well. But a game that could maybe open the door for Sierra Leone, they would need a result against Chad. That is not a tough ask, truthfully. However, in order for that next game to matter, they would need the Ivory Coast to beat Zambia. No draws, just a win. And if that happens, then that next matchup where you have Zambia versus Sierra Leone could be for all the marbles. But that would be what we have to wait and see to come through. DR Congo and Guinea are looking in good spots. DR Congo already through. but Guinea leaving some opportunities for the second spot in the group only on 6 points. To me, the matchup to watch, you have Guinea versus DR Congo on the 16th, which is a fun one. But on the 16th, I'm looking at Tanzania and Ethiopia. Tanzania has the opportunity with a win versus Ethiopia, could vault themselves back into a very interesting spot as Guinea plays DR Congo. I think DR Congo are going to go to finish their qualifying with no losses, which would mean you can get a matchup where Tanzania plays Guinea with a chance to go through, but you need DR Congo to move through, which I think they will try to finish their qualifications with no blemishes. Group I mean, feels about the same. Guinea-Bissau would need a very big result just to have a chance to move through. Eswatini, thank you for coming. Appreciate y'all for being there. But you are where you are. Mali, any win would, well, a draw would really do it for them, honestly. You have Mozambique versus Mali on the 15th. So even if they end up with 9 there, with 3, 2, and 0, Guinea-Bissau's trip would be over. Guinea-Bissau would need a result versus Swatini, which is not impossible to ask. And then they would need then a win versus Mozambique. Not impossible again, but some work to be done. Group J, Kenya is still alive. They are still alive. However, for Kenya to get anything, they need a result versus Zimbabwe. And I think that is the game that really sets this group. A win is what they need. A win against Zimbabwe. Then Kenya enters on their 18th game versus Namibia with a chance to maybe play, as again Cameroon will be playing, already qualified, but Cameroon will be playing just to make sure they have a spot in. So that game on the 15th, that is the game to watch for Group J. Group K, Congo still alive, same situation as Kenya. They need a result moving forward in their first game. Thankfully for them, Congo is playing South Sudan. South Sudan, though, who have put up some good performances, haven't been able to get the wins needed to even be in the conversation here, which would mean the Uganda versus South Africa game. I think Uganda makes it out of this group, which means it would come down for me to Congo versus South Africa making it out. I think South Africa should be able to get that done. However, Congo, a loss from South Africa to Uganda, the Cranes might leave South Africa having to win their final game, which seems to be a tough ask, but they're playing South Sudan. So it's almost all but assured South Africa can make it through, but this is AFCON. Everything is on the table. And Group L is already done. Not much. But those are the games I am looking forward to see. You guys let me know which games you are looking forward to see. And as always, I'm going to stop talking right now.